Mekong River runs through 6 different countries, which are China, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam. Over 300 million people live around the river, and they are influenced by the activities that are taking place in this natural wonder. These are countries that are growing promisingly. Their common GDP has increased by 6.5% each year in the last 20 years on average. A major part of such increase has been generated by natural resources they have on hand. By looking a bit further, there are 3 main natural resources that are exploited in these particular areas. The first is mineral resources and mining activities, water on fisheries, and lastly, soil on the agricultural sector. Up to this point, we will be more focused by going deeper into the topic on the impact of the water resources by straightly analyzing the Mekong Basin hydropower and infrastructure development by contracted dams.
Mekong River provides hydropower to feed 7% of the rising annually energy demand in the GMS area. It is believed to be efficient and sustainable. China has aimed to further develop hydropower plants in the west upstream of Mekong River. There are 31 existing dams and over 40 projected dams. These projects that are supposed to improve the lives of people are starting to cause negative spillovers. 30 projects are commissioned by China, 5 are proposed by Cambodia, followed by Laos and Thai. These tight constructions of power dams greatly affects lives along Mekong River in 2 ways. Firstly, the local fisheries along the river are endangered. Secondly, rice producers in the Mekong Delta are having problems to develop their activities. Focusing on the first problem, dams are blocking fish migrations, which is causing several issues. Local fisheries face income loss over $200 million annually. Abrupt water storage and release is creating a natural floods that are making people evacuate their homes.
In addition to these 2 main problems, there's also humanitarian concern. Fish is the main source of protein for local people in Mekong Basin area, accounting 80% of this nutrient consumption, which worsen people's health welfare. To propose to that problem, they implemented aquaculture, which is create another problem. Since this activity is using a lot of water, therefore less water for other activities. It introduced new species to the river, and that make the local species disappear. However, just only 10% of the feed that's produced by aquaculture stay in the country, exporting the rest to international market. Then there's less supply of fish and the price will increase for the local people, and this problem affects 60 million people. Focusing now on the delta problem, the dams are retaining the sediment by not letting it flow with the water. Therefore, the Mekong Delta will have less plantable area due to the lower sediment in the river, losing the room to the sea instead. This phenomenon is decreasing the amount of land where Vietnamese can grow rice. Moreover, the rice production that is made in the Mekong Delta represents 90% of Vietnamese rice export. Therefore, these actions are endangering one of the main economic activities in this country, and threatening 17 million people's lives that are relying on this source of revenue and food.
Once we have seen the big picture of our wicked problem, we want to know better the people that is affected. We're working on an area with multiple ethnic groups living in 3 different main ecoregions: Greater Annameds, Dry Forest, and the Mekong River, which is the segment of the population we are focusing on, the heart of the region. 85% of the people depending on the Mekong River live in rural areas, and over 70% rely on agriculture and fishing as their main economic activity. The river system is home to a great cultural diversity, with more than 95% different ethnic groups living in the Mekong Basin. Finally, we summarize the problem that is affecting these people. First, the fish levels are decreasing, and this equals on less food plus less tools to deal with. Second, aquaculture is not an appropriate solution. It causes water waste and increases the price of the fish. Finally, there's a total amount of 77 people that is affected. Once seen the wicked problem, we focus on some solutions that are being implemented by some NGOs, such as a 10-year moratorium on lower Mekong dams, or carrying out studies to influence political decisions, and finally, smart financing.
There are also more concrete solutions, like the Rivers for Life project. The idea is to identify and prioritize the valuable freshwater areas so that vital services of freshwater ecosystems could be preserved. Especially, there is an aim to increase the involvement of key stakeholders in the area. Another solution that we think that is interesting and could have room to create revenue as entrepreneurs is the creation of a program of community fisheries. We would like to introduce the concept of the fish to eat in the Mekong River fisheries. Make the end consumers aware of the situation of the river and educate them to buy sustainable. This sustainable way of fishing promotes well-managed fisheries by encouraging environmentally appropriate and socially beneficial fishing practices, obtaining a MSC certification and exporting to the global market of seafood while improving the Mekong River environment at the same time could improve many people's lives and create revenue for us as entrepreneurs.